worldview that you have, the education that you have is going to determine the path that you take. Which perspective then are you going to use to guide you into your future? Are you going to use the narrow view of history or the long view of history? Now, what do I mean by the narrow view of history? When I say narrow, I mean the past 600 years. That's what I mean. Very, very infinitesimal, extremely minute amount of our history, right? The past 600 years, tiny. But what has happened? Too many of us believe that our history began with the enslavement of our ancestors in the Americas. The Sphinx, or Purim Akhet, Heru on the horizon. What does this symbolize? This symbolizes collective action, collective organization. This is obviously not done by one person. This was conceived and then it was created. You are not tied to him. You were not tied to me, not economically, not historically, not genetically. You are an individual with your own individual set of circumstances unrelated to everybody else. All right, it's a ruse, it's a ploy. Also, the greatest symbol of the post-racial society, Barack Obama, President Obama. But did you know that death threats to the United States president have increased 400% since he became president of the United States? Is this a coincidence? Is it because he's a socialist? No. It is because he's African. And you can see, as I have written here, a white supremacist plot was uncovered in Tennessee in 2009. A plot to kill 88 black people and decapitate 14. They're not loving you now. I mean, I think we're doing a great disservice by pushing this upon the post-racial society concept, by pushing it on influential people, because they're going to have a different experience once they step out into the world. Humanity originated in Ethiopia 200,000 years ago. In Ethiopia, right? So if there is a Garden of Eden, it has to be in the motherland. It is not in Mesopotamia. It is not somewhere in Asia. It is right there on the continent. 100,000 years ago, humanity's origin. Then we're talking about 40,000 years ago with 160,000 years in between. 40,000 years ago, that area above the 40 degrees latitude began to get very, very cold. Okay? However, there were humans who migrated to that area before it began to get very, very cold. They were trapped up there. They were trapped. So what happened? In order for them to survive, they had to adapt. They had to adapt physiologically. Their body, their physical makeup had to adapt. And it determined not only their physical makeup, but the culture that they developed. I don't know if you know, but you need that sunlight. That sunlight is going to help you synthesize that vitamin D, which is essential for you. All life grew in some relationship with the physical environment, particularly the sun. Had a much more sophisticated understanding of Big Bang, the universe, Earth's relationship to the universe, and they understood this for hundreds and hundreds of years. As a matter of fact, they resided in Mali, and when the Arab invasion came, they removed themselves to a less desirable area just so they can preserve their culture. Matrifocal social structure. What that means is that the woman is centered. This is the bringer of life. She is responsible for the creation of sustenance, right? Matrifocal. Ma'at is a concept, but Ma'at is presented as a woman. The concept that holds the whole of Nile Valley civilization together, that is holding Nubia together, that is holding Kemet or ancient Egypt together. When we're talking about ancient Egypt, we're talking about the power that has been a stable society longer than any other society, right? What is their foundation? Their foundation is in ma'at. What is ma'at? Truth, order, justice, reciprocity. This is their concept. This is their guiding principle, their guiding concept in life. The black dollar in the black community does not turn over one time. Not one time. The dollar in the white community turns over 8 times. The dollar in the Asian community turns over 9 times. It is our psychology that is responsible for the outflow of capital from the black community. Reclaim African culture. I'm not saying in one swoop, I'm not saying overnight, but consistently and slowly get back in touch with your African self. What guide are you going to take? What historical approach are you going to use as a source of information to lead you into the future? The long view or the narrow view that begins with the enslavement of our ancestors